Hi, this is Amy at Amy Common Sense Southern. I hope you're having a great day. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I do healthy cooking and lifestyle videos, and I share a bit about my wellness and weight loss journey. I lost most of my weight on WW, but all wellness plans are welcome. You guys asked for it, and today I am delivering my clean eating video. So I want to talk a little bit about what clean eating is and what it isn't first, and what it means to me. Let me preface this by saying that I am not a dietitian, I am not a nutritionist, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a health professional. I'm just someone who lost a lot of weight, mostly with WW and exercise, and a few principles along the way. Clean eating to me is eating your food as close to how it occurred in nature as possible. So to me, food that is minimally processed, and as long as I can pronounce all of the ingredients in it, that's great. It generally will fit into that clean eating model. And I incorporated clean eating about 80% of the time. I still do. I'm not going to be perfect with my clean eating. I'm also not going to take it to the extent that if I go to a restaurant that I'm going to quiz the server about the ingredients of a piece of bread. I just, roll with the punches in those situations and do the best I can to stick to my plan in general. Some people confuse clean eating with everything having to be organic. Now, if you do a Google search on clean eating and you find 10 different websites or sources of information, you're going to find a lot of variation in that. So for some people, just having your food be minimally processed and free of artificial sweeteners and preservatives and things like that is good enough. For others, they feel that clean eating also means organic. So for example, if I just take an apple and slice it up and eat it, to me, that's clean eating because apples occur in nature and I'm eating it in the form it came into nature. For some folks, the fact that that apple may not be organic and may have been treated with pesticides or fertilizers, that's a problem for them. It's not a problem for me. So you can decide on how far you want to go with clean eating, and that's perfectly fine. WW does not specifically direct you towards clean eating. When I was starting my WW journey and I was looking at meal plans that WW touted on their website, and again, I've always done online only, no meetings. But when I would look at sample meal plans, or they had an inspirational story of someone who, hey, look at me, this is what I ate today and I lost 10 pounds. I'm just kidding. But they would list all of these things that they ate, and there would be like a diet soda in there or something that was artificially sweetened. And I thought there has to be a better way, because I wanted my food to be as clean as possible. And whatever you do to lose your weight, you have to maintain. I've said that many times. I'm quoting directly from Joan at Joan's Pointed Plate when I phrase it that way. But I wanted to make sure that what I used to lose my weight would be something that I could get my hands on anytime, and without having to buy anything special. I have some personal reasons for why I'm into clean eating though. And so please understand that I don't expect my hang-ups to become other people's hang-ups. I'm just sharing with you to be honest with you, so that I don't want to get comments where people say, well, I didn't do clean eating and I lost 60 pounds. Hey, that's great. I'm not saying that you need to do things this way to lose weight. But what is going on in my head and what's specific to me is something that I can't really change. I will share with you that my mother passed away from pancreatic cancer. And, when you have a loved one go through something like that, you do way too much research. And I just wanted to make sure that I realize there are genetic predispositions to some things that we can't control, but I also don't want to pull any triggers that I don't have to. And so part of my healing process with that situation, I think, was to become as healthy as possible, because my journey in wellness, and that's why I call it a wellness journey, not just a weight loss journey, but mine had to do with becoming as healthy as possible and preserving my health as much as I could. So it wasn't just about losing weight by any means necessary. It was about becoming a healthier person as well. And so that's why I eat clean. Part of what I do with clean eating also is that I stay away from artificial sweeteners and preservatives as much as possible. So, there's some pretty obvious ones to stay away from for me, like aspartame and sucralose, which is Splenda, I think. But there are also some others that some people say, hey, these are natural and healthy, like stevia. So stevia comes from a leaf, which does occur in nature, but in my thinking, you don't get from that leaf to that sweetener that comes in a dropper or crystals or whatever without a lot of processing. And so what happens to that product along the way is what, just disturbs me, and I don't want to get into so much. I guess you could say the same thing about sugar. White sugar comes from sugar beets or sugar cane, and then is processed into the white granular sugar that you see. And I stay away from that as well, as much as I can, but not entirely. Usually if I'm going to add sweetener to something, my go-tos are honey, because that occurs in nature. It might be pasteurized or processed or filtered, but honey we consider that a naturally occurring product. Maple syrup, I consider pretty clean. Dates, things like that. Then there brings up a whole debate about should we be sweetening things anyway? Sugar is sugar, whether it does the same thing in your body, whether it's honey or maple syrup. Of course, there's the whole glycemic index piece to it, which I don't want to get into right now. But you just have to do what's comfortable for you, and these are principles that are guidelines for me. I also tend to avoid items that are labeled fat-free. Reduced fat, I'll take a look at it, such as a couple of the reduced fat cheeses. But if an item is fat-free, completely fat-free, I can't help but wonder what else is in it. And usually I'm not satisfied when I look at the labels of those items. So I thought it would be fun to go through some items in my kitchen and see if they are technically clean eating by looking at the labels on them. So I'm put on some glasses and take a look at a couple of things. So this is some Trader Joe's salsa, and the ingredients in that are tomato puree, which is water and tomato paste. Okay, so I'd be happier with that if it was just diced up tomatoes. But anyway, tomatoes occur in nature. I don't know how much processing occurs to a tomato to become tomato paste, but then yellow chili pepper, salt, distilled vinegar, dehydrated onion, garlic powder. This is pretty clean as far as I'm concerned. And remember I said, my goal is 80%, not necessarily 100%. We just do the best we can with this, right? So another item that I have in my cabinet was some unsweetened applesauce. And here we have organic apple puree. So there are organic apples in this. So again, this is an example of something that's obviously processed. Apples don't come in jars like this, but what's in it is just apple, pretty much. Next, I'm going to take a look at this whole wheat penne pasta, and the ingredients in this are, let's see, organic Durham whole wheat flour. Yeah, so nothing that's a funny preservative or anything like that in it. That's okay in my world. Let's see if I can read that. Yeah, this one I can read. Okay, so in these freeze-dried strawberries, it just says freeze-dried strawberries. Now, obviously, there's some processing going on here because strawberries don't come freeze-dried in a bag, but there's nothing been added to it that is a problem for me. Next item is, you've seen me talk about this recently. This is the PB2 almond butter, and the ingredients in this are almonds, sugar, and salt. So, do we really need added salt? Do we need added sugar? I mean, this to me is one of those things that, if we had a cleanometer here, this, and let's say this is the cleanest and this is the worst, this to me is, it's not the best, but it's not the worst thing either. So, another item I have here, I just bought this today. I wanted to try this. People have been talking about this Laughing Cow cheese. And so this is the pepper jack one. Ingredients: cheddar, Swiss, Monterey Jack, and semi-soft cheese, which consists of pasteurized cultured milk and part skim milk, salt, enzymes, non-fat milk, whey, unfiltered non-fat milk, water, sodium polyphosphate. All right, so I would need to do some research into what that is exactly. Jalapeno peppers, citric acid, and salt. So, I mean, that's not the devil, but it's not 100% clean. And then finally, I have something that I bought on a whim from Instacart and put it in my shopping cart. And this has, so these are Butterball turkey burgers. Turkey contains 2% or less of brown sugar, sea salt, dextrose, autolyzed yeast extract, hydrogenized corn protein, salt, onion powder, natural flavor. But it's gluten-free. But no, I would say this is not clean. Does that mean I won't eat that? Not necessarily. So for me, it's what do I do about 80% of the time? That's kind of what I try to do. So I stay away from a lot of things. Like if I had been in the grocery store and read the label on this, I would not have bought this. But I just stuck it in my cart on Instacart to give me another option. Like turkey, that's low in point, right? And I would have to check and see how many points these are. I think it's maybe 4 points per patty, but I would not have bought that if I had been in the store and actually looked at the label, because I am that person in the grocery store reading the labels and with my little, I don't have my phone handy, but with my scanner, seeing how many points are in things. Let's check out these corn chips. So these have, let's see, oh, the ingredients are really big. I can read that without my glasses. Volcanic stone ground corn, sunflower and or safflower oil, sea salt. So I'm fine with that. So I think that's really good. So those are clean in my opinion. So again, these are some principles that I go by. You can go as far away from this, as you're comfortable. But I'll just tell you, in my WW journey and my wellness journey, I stayed away from a lot of the products that other people were talking about that contained a lot of artificial sweeteners. Also, I pay attention to when a product says sugar-free versus unsweetened. This is not 100% guarantee, but usually if it says sugar-free and it's an item that you would normally think of having sugar in it, like ice cream or ketchup, there's probably some kind of artificial sweetener there. If it says unsweetened, that means nothing's been put in it to make it sweet, real, artificial, whatever. So that's just something to pay attention to also. I am much more likely to walk right by something that says sugar-free that should be sweet, like a ketchup or ice cream, like I said, and more likely to pick up a product and look at the ingredients on the label if it says unsweetened. I hope this has been helpful to you. Again, I never meant for this to be the be-all, end-all video on or information source on what clean eating is, but just wanted to explain to you how I interpret that and how I incorporate it into my wellness or WW journey. So this is Amy Common Sense Southern. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, click that subscription button and the notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and I'll see you next time at Amy Common Sense Southern. Bye-bye.